be able to select and place an implant, first of all we navigate down through the case to the bottom of the page and we fill in the remaining data that's required. So we have the consultation date and then we have the insertion date, which is when the implant was actually placed. Next we're going to select our anticipated completion date. This is not the actual completion. We select whether the case was independent or standard, and you'll put down supervised and standard. We're not doing any kind of advanced cases during this program. Now you'll see this program automatically notifies you when you've made a mistake, and because we haven't completed entering all the necessary implant data, you're sent a warning sign. So now we're going to put the implant site location data, and for this case we're going to be inserting an upper left central incisor, and then we go down through the various questions, answering them in turn: the manufacturer of the implant, the relevant implant batch number, then we put in the implant dimensions such as length and diameter, and we move through and we answer the questions as they present. The next batch of questions will now be started, and you just fill in the information as required. Again, the insertion date, and also you start to fill in information about the type of placement. And if you select certain things, you'll be asked other questions, and again you just go through and fill in all the questions necessary and work your way down through all of the bits. Normally if you put down no to any of the questions, that finishes the line of questioning, but if for example you were to put down that you used a membrane, well then the program would ask you about details of the membrane, the type, the batch number, and the same goes for graft materials as well. It will ask you for information about the type of graft that was used and how it will be used. The idea of the program is that it guides you through all the relevant information that you will need to record for your case log. Often this information is overlooked when logs are presented, such as what the quality and the quantity of the bone was at the time of implant placement, or if you like at the implant site. And later on this information is going to be very, very difficult to recall from memory. Now it's not necessary to add all the information in one go. In fact, you should be adding to the case as you treat it. So every treatment session you should make some additions to your implant data, to your records, so that it's a gradually built up case as you go along. And you can come back and return to the case as often as you want to add more information, but ideally you should do this as you go along. Then clicking will update all the information that you've added. And now this is an implant, it's started, and there may be another implant in the same case, and you're going to go along. By hovering above the implant you can see the data that's been recorded, and we're going to add, as I say, a second implant to this case, and this one may have been placed on a separate day. So again we add all the necessary information as before, and I'm just going to quickly go through the implant data. And we're going to put no for the majority of the questions here in order to quickly complete the task. And you will see that although it's one case, there could be multiple implants placed, and they could be placed at different times. So we need to be able to put in the dates and times for the various implants. Obviously the bone quality and quantity will be different because it's a different location. It might even be a different type of insertion. It may be a delayed or a paramediate. So all this information needs to be recorded. And so we move down through it, and when we come to restore it, we can start filling in the date at which it was exposed, and we can start answering questions about the restoration. Now, this particular implant may be used as part of a bridge. So we say that this implant is being used as part of a bridge, and we say how many more implants are being used in conjunction with this implant to support the bridge. Again, most of these questions are pretty self-explanatory, and it's just really a matter of pulling down the menus and selecting the bits of information, and this will give you a fairly complex record of all the individual implants that were placed in the case. And for those of you going to different licensing authorities, some are more interested in cases, some are more interested in individual implants. This program lets you present the data in either way as the licensing board wish to see it. And again, we can see the finished implant and all the data that is associated with that implant.